All right, folks. Today's video is not what I wanted it to be. It's Saturday morning, and when I woke up this morning, I heard the unfortunate sound of rain hitting my tin roof. Today's video was supposed to be taking the Japanese Arisaka to range and doing a little bit of long range shooting with it. But obviously that's not going to happen today, so this will have to suffice. The rifle that we're going to be talking about today is it's a rifle that is branded the Stevens 334. This rifle is made in Turkey. It's the exact rifle as the ATA Turka. They're imported into the U.S. by Savage. They are there's no other way to put it, they are a budget-friendly gun. And I think that they have some good points about them, and then there are a few bad points. And we're going to go over those. These rifles are offered in 3 different chamberings, to my knowledge. They're offered in a .243 Winchester, a .65 Creedmoor, and a .308 Winchester. This particular rifle is chambered in .308 Winchester. These rifles sport a 20-inch medium, I would call it a medium barrel. It's not a sporter barrel, and it's definitely not a heavy barrel. So it does fairly well with multiple shots and controlling heat. These rifles come equipped with a 3-round magazine. It's my understanding that you can purchase 5-round magazines for these rifles. That's not something that I'm interested in. This is a deer hunting rifle for me. It's a cheap brush beater, more or less. You know, I'm not interested in taking some of my long range rigs and beating the brush with them or hiking up the mountain with those. They're a lot heavier, they're a lot longer, and I wanted a rifle that, you know, was cheap but durable and was still accurate. And this one fit the bill for that. Well, let's call it a con. One of the worst things that I have found with this rifle is the trigger. The trigger on these are advertised as a 2-stage adjustable trigger. I have found they are not 2-stage. There's no creep in it whatsoever, but the poundage on that trigger is heavy. I'm going to estimate it to be somewhere around 4 or 5 pounds. The adjustment on these, the company suggests that these triggers are adjustable, and there are screws, or a screw, to adjust it. However, from the factory, this screw is very, very small, and it has a sort of a glue on it, and you cannot turn it. I've tried heating it. I've tried everything. I've tried the correct size hollow ground bit. Inevitably, what wound up happening is I broke one of the ears off of the screw. It's so small and weak. So that's definitely a con for me. My rifles, I like to be around that 1.5 to 2 pound mark. I understand that I probably wasn't going to get, you know, closer to the 1.5 mark with this rifle, but a little bit lighter than what it comes from the factory would have been great. Another feature that this rifle has is it has a 3-stage safety. All the way back towards the butt of the gun is safe. It in the middle is safe, but you can work the bolt. And all the way forward is fire. It also has a cocked indicator on the back of the bolt. A con that I would call it a con with the safety button itself, if you will, is plastic. And I'm not sure how robust that's going to be. I used this rifle in deer season 2024 in our general firearm season, and I didn't have any trouble with it sticking. I didn't have any trouble with it not being in the correct position in the mechanism. It worked. So I guess time will tell if the plastic button, if you will be sufficient. When I received this rifle, the bolt and inside of the action, there are milling marks in it. It wasn't smooth at all. And what I did to smooth mine up, it made a little bit of a noise, like the old, back in the day, the windbreaker, when you rubbed a windbreaker jacket, that weird pitched noise. That's what the sound that this bolt made when you worked it. So I took the bolt out of it, and I took a cleaning solvent, and I cleaned all of the grease out of it from the factory, scrubbed the bolt down, and applied some 3-in-1 oil in the proper locations, and I just worked the bolt back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I probably worked that bolt 200, 250 times. And eventually, those ridges or the milling marks kind of wore down just a little bit. Everything kind of smoothed up. Then I cleaned it again and oiled it, and it's glass smooth now. But be aware from the factory, it's going to be stiff, it's going to make some noise, and it's not going to be smooth. Another thing that this rifle features is a Turkish walnut stock. I am a big time wood stock guy. I always have been. I have a few rifles that have synthetic stocks on them. And if it weren't for the accuracy that those rifles provide, I wouldn't have them. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with them. I prefer a wood stock. This rifle, when I bought mine, this rifle could be had for around $450 out the door. That fit the bill for the things that I wanted. The wood stock, short barrel, chambered in 308 Winchester. I enjoy the 308 Winchester for deer hunting. There's many different loadings in that cartridge. You can go low on things that are lighter on the recoil side, or you can go pretty heavy. Another feature that this rifle came with from the factory is it came with a one-piece Picatinny rail, and that's important to me, especially in a budget-friendly rifle. When 90% of the time when people are looking for a budget-friendly rifle, they're looking to enjoy a rifle without spending a whole bunch of money. And a scope base sometimes can be an expensive part of a setup. And fortunately, Stevens or Savage, whichever company it is, they're branded Stevens, but they offer a one-piece Picatinny rail that comes with it, and like I said, I like that. Whatever it is, 40, 50, $100, whatever you choose, you could put that money towards maybe a little bit better scope or a little bit better set of rings. On this particular rifle, I have a Leupold Rifleman 3-9x40 scope, and I don't remember what rings those are. I want to say that those are Burris rings. I'm not 100% on that. It's a set of rings that I had in my stash. I've had them for a good while. Some of the ammunition that I've shot in this gun, as you can see to the left, some American Whitetail 308, 150 grain interlock. That was the best factory hunting bullet, per se, that I found. It was the most accurate of the hunting bullets that I tried. Generally, I reload. Last year when I purchased this rifle, it was a kind of a spur of the moment thing, and I didn't have time to work loads up for that, for this rifle. That's coming though. With that, I don't have the targets, or I would show you the groups. The groups with the 150 grain interlock were somewhere around, it was between 3/4 of an inch and 1 inch at 100 yards, if I remember right. That's one of the reasons that I went with it. The first shots out of this gun were out of the ammunition to the right, and that's the Federal Premium Gold Medal 168 grain match ammunition. Those cartridges are loaded with Sierra Match King bullets. And I will tell you, with that cartridge out of this rifle, I had 4 shots that I could cover with a nickel at 100 yards. So that was very, very promising to me in terms of accuracy. Naturally, you wouldn't want to use a match bullet to deer hunt with. Some people do. I don't advocate it. So I look forward to doing some load development with this rifle. I have several different bullet combinations that I would like to try in it. As of right now, kind of circling back to the poor trigger, to my knowledge right now, there are no aftermarket triggers for these rifles. If anybody out there knows of one, please let me know, because I would like to replace this trigger. Like I said, this trigger, it doesn't creep at all. It has a solid back wall. The poundage on it is just, it's very heavy. And I have unsuccessfully been able to adjust it. I read somewhere on the interwebs that you can purchase a trigger from ATA in Turkey, and it's a trigger that they put in their Turkas, and it is supposedly a true 2-stage adjustable trigger. I haven't done any more research in that, so I'm not certain on it. I would very much so like to see Timney come out with an aftermarket trigger for this thing. I think that would be very, very cool. But that is all the time that I have for today on this particular rifle. Maybe at some point in the near future we can do some load development with it and take it to the range. And of course, I'm most certain that I'll have this back out in deer season, so in 2025. So thanks for your time, and we'll talk soon.